We're getting them down 60, 70, 80, 90%, but actually more than that if you think about it in the way mathematically. And Pharma has to say, we're sorry, but we'll not be able to do this any longer to these countries that have been so tough.
That's not a campaign pitch. That's a sitting US president vowing to slash drug prices by up to 90%. And he says it's already happening. Just months into his second term, Donald Trump has signed a sweeping executive order targeting what he calls global price gouging by pharmaceutical companies. The goal: to make American patients pay the same for prescription drugs as people in countries like Germany, France, or Canada, where the prices are often 2 to 4 times lower. And the spotlight is firmly on the multi-billion-dollar market for weight loss drugs. So what's in Trump's plan? Why is he targeting these specific drugs? And will it actually work? Let's break it down. Let's begin with what's actually inside the sweeping executive order. The headline move: Most Favored Nation pricing. This means that drug makers must sell prescription drugs to American patients for no more than what they sell them for in countries with the lowest prices. For example, if a drug costs $200 in Canada, it cannot cost more than that in America, even if that same drug is selling for $1,000 in the United States. Next, the US leader is targeting the so-called mysterious middlemen, the ones that negotiate prices between drug makers, insurers, and pharmacies.
To accelerate these price restrictions and reductions, my administration will also cut out the middlemen. We're going to totally cut out the famous middlemen. Nobody knows who they are, middlemen. I've been hearing the term for 25 years, middlemen. I don't know who they are, but they're rich.
President Trump wants to make drug prices more transparent by ending middlemen, while also wanting the drugs to go straight to the consumers. And the US president is not stopping there. He's also pushing for legal imports of cheaper drugs from other countries if they're proven to be safe. Besides, the order also gives drug makers 30 days to bring prices down, or else they could face further actions from the Trump administration. Now, let's zoom in on one part of the market President Trump is closely watching. That's the weight loss drugs. The United States is facing a health crisis, with over 40% of the population being obese. GLP-1 drugs like Zepbound, Ozempic, and Wegovy that dominate the market are soaring in popularity. Millions of Americans flock to them in search of a weight loss solution. But they come at a steep price, some costing over $1,000 per month. Meanwhile, the same drugs can cost as little as a few $100s elsewhere. In Japan, for instance, the monthly price for a 10 mg Zepbound injection pen is just over $61. President Trump sees this as a major example of what he calls price gouging. The US is paying far more than other countries for these life-changing drugs. The drug companies defend that higher prices allow them to carry out research and develop new drugs. Yet, despite that, they are feeling the pressure from the Trump administration.
For years, pharmaceutical and drug companies have said that research and development costs were what they are, and for no reason whatsoever, they had to be borne by America alone. Not anymore, they don't.
But the question is, will this pressure force companies to slash their prices? So what does this all mean for Americans? For millions of patients, Trump's order could mean life-saving drugs becoming far more affordable. Imagine paying $100 for a prescription that currently costs $1,000. That's a potential win for the American public. But experts warn that drug makers might push back. Researchers say companies could simply pull out of cheaper foreign markets to maintain profits. And industry groups argue that slashing prices could choke off funding for research while doing little to solve the cost crisis. What's more, if Trump's executive order leads to legal imports of drugs from overseas, it could open up a whole new market for affordable pharmaceuticals. But there's a bigger issue here. These imported drugs have to be deemed safe. The US Food and Drug Administration would oversee the process, a task that's anything but simple. So, can President Trump's drug pricing plan really work? It's still early, and the pharmaceutical industry won't back down without a fight. Legal challenges are already brewing. Trump tried this in his first term, and his pricing order was blocked in court. This time, he's back with a broader strategy. But will it be enough to actually lower prices?